This is Vet Tales, the story of the sailing veterinary clinic. Last episode, we were kept busy with post-operative checkups and consultations after the big spay and neuter clinic in Agua Verde. This episode, we enjoy the anchorages on the way to Puerto Escondido, where we're heading to pick up our first veterinary student.
So we left La Paz 12 days ago. Since then, we've visited San Evaristo, Punta Alta, Las Cuevas, Punta Colorada, Los Burros, and Agua Verde. So 6 communities. In those first 5 communities where we were just doing the vaccinations, we saw almost 40 animals, some new, some old faces, which was very nice. Got a lot of animals revaccinated, a lot of dogs and cats revaccinated, and kind of, just did checkups and things like that. It's really nice to revisit those communities and see everybody again. So that was really cool. Then we got here to Agua Verde, did the big spay and neuter campaign. So that was a really big day, very successful day. We had around 30 animals attend, both dogs and cats, male and female, which was really good too, because sometimes we do see predominantly females at these events, and it was really nice to have males coming in. Shows that the community really understands the importance of getting animals spayed and neutered. And then we have stuck around since a few days so that we can do post-operative checkups, but also we had additional vaccinations and treatments to do. So we've seen a further 20 animals, cat vaccines, treatments for dogs. We've done 13 puppy vaccinations. I also ended up doing an extra surgery because it was a cat that actually had done a runner. He got to the clinic and then ran away. His owner was almost to the gate and then so we castrated him the next day. It's been a busy few days, but really good to follow up and make sure that we were here for the post-operative period for the animals, because obviously that's a very important part of their recovery. And things can go wrong post-operatively, as anybody who's had surgery or an anesthetic knows. But all of the animals look great. They're all doing very, very well. All their wounds are looking great. They all recovered well after anesthetics. That was really cool. The communities that we've visited in the last 12 days have all multiple times with multiple different people expressed their gratitude for what we're doing. They've also mentioned to us how rare it is for visitors to give back to their communities. They don't get a lot of governmental support, and the service we've provided is very needed, very appreciated. It was really nice to hear that from people, and they're very, very grateful to all of you who've helped us make this happen as well. On that note, we've got a lot of people to thank. Firstly, we'd like to thank all of the cruisers who've volunteered with us and anybody who's crewed with us who've helped make this happen over the last few months, because obviously these projects have been very ongoing. They're not just although a lot's happened in the last 12 days, we've been to Agua Verde now multiple times. We've visited San Evaristo last year. That's been very much an ongoing project. Very grateful for all the cruisers who volunteered. In particular, we had cruisers volunteer during the spay and neuter campaign. They were admitting animals, weighing them, discharging them, recovering them after surgery. So that was it would not have run so smoothly without all of them. We'd like to say a very big thank you to the veterinarians and their volunteers who came from Loreto. Obviously, I would not have been able to do 30 animals on my own, so that was amazing having them here. They were such a good team. We all worked so well together. And like I said, the spay and neuter day, probably one of the smoothest we've ever run, especially for a first campaign in an area. It was great. And then to the communities here that we've visited, it takes a lot of organization. Joel, who works in the restaurant here, Brisas Del Mar, he was running back and forwards from the clinic day back to the restaurant because you can only get Wi-Fi and cell service in the restaurant. So he would be going back to the restaurant, messaging people, giving them appointment times, coming back, seeing where we were up to, going back to the restaurant. We obviously hosted the clinic in the person's house, in one of the local people's houses. It's the community really comes together as well to make these happen, which is great. And then obviously, very huge thank you to all of our patrons and all of our donators. Financially, you know, these things cost a lot of money. And that kind of is a really important part of doing this, is that we have to be able to pay for all the equipment. We have to be able to pay for veterinarians to come, you know, vaccines, all of that stuff costs money. And we truly, truly couldn't do it without the financial support of all of our patrons and donators. You know, you really do make this happen. So thank you. And then obviously everybody who just watches our videos, shares them, gives them likes, comments, and just supports us in other ways. You know, we've had cruisers give us water, let us use their Starlink to message, you know, message communities as we're traveling, give us fish when they catch fish, like all that stuff. It really helps. And this truly was a team effort. It truly was a community effort of cruisers, you know, online, everybody coming together to make these things happen. So we're extremely grateful. The communities are extremely grateful, and we're really, really proud of what we've achieved. Between the previous vaccination campaign we did here about kind of a month and a half ago, this visit, and then visiting the communities, the San Evaristo communities, we've seen something like 170 animals, which is like amazing. So yeah, truly couldn't have done it without you all. So thank you all very, very much. And now we move north. There's a very slight breeze from southeast.
Yeah.
And we're just going to see if it's enough. We're essentially going north, so downwind-ish.
Well, the flags aren't moving at all. So
No. What's our super advanced wind meter say?
We're getting a ripping 1.5 knots.
I don't know that 1.5 is enough to sail in. We need a real light wind spinnaker for that.
I think we're motoring.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty calm. Well, we are motoring once again. We've motored a lot this last 2 weeks coming up the coast, but it was kind of to be expected. This time of year is known for being very calm, and it's kind of been one of those things where it's been like good and bad, because obviously it would have been really nice to sail more, but it's meant that because every day is so calm, we've been able to move the boat, anchor off of areas that aren't necessarily the best anchorages with such good holding. You know, we go into some areas that aren't so well charted, things like that. So it's been good because it's meant the animal work and the projects have been able to really line up well, because we've been able to move when we need to move. But yeah, the Iron Jenny's been going a lot, so oh well. Today looks like it might be another motoring day with 2 knots max gusts from the southeast, with us going north. I just don't think we're going to be doing much else. Maybe it changes though. So today we're looking at going to Candeleros Chico or Candeleros. They're like anchorages basically kind of right around the corner from each other. Candeleros Chico is very narrow and slightly open to the north. So we're just going to see if there's not much swell, but chuffed rolls and anything. As you can probably see right now, we're still rolling even out at sea. So we're going to see if the swell is entering a bit there. If it is, we'll go around to Candeleros. The other thing with Candeleros Chico is that only 1 or 2 boats can fit there. So if there's already people anchored there, we'll just go around the corner. So yeah, it's about 16 to 18 nautical miles from Agua Verde to Chico, and maybe 20 to Candeleros. So we don't have too far to go today. Yeah, pretty day though. I was just saying to Jim, it's like, it's so pretty here. It's even, we've done this coast now like 3 or 4 times, but it's still kind of like just the mountains meeting the ocean and the colors. It's really beautiful. Yeah. Can't complain, that's for sure. We're just off the coast of San Cosme right now. It's a community we would like to visit eventually. We've the last 2 times we've looked at visiting, there's either been a strong northerly or a strong westerly, and it's in a gap wind. So when there's a strong westerly, this is where we been caught in the westerlies, is off San Cosme. And then obviously in northerly, it's open too. But we are going to get there eventually. And I was just having a little boost with the binoculars, and it does look like there's the main town with like 6 houses, main area. And then it looks like there's another house in one of the northern beaches. And then further north, it looks like there's kind of this like pagoda thing. And I'm wondering if that maybe is like an eco resort or something. And then further south, there's actually a marina area. I don't know that it's for like sailboats, so it might just be for little sports fishing boats. But you can see all the towers of the resort down there. So yeah, it's kind of good to scope it out a little bit. Very cool anchorage, huh?
Warm.
Warm?
Yeah.
Warmer than Agua Verde?
It seems to be, or at least I jumped into a warm spot.
We've made it to Candeleros, Chico. Really beautiful anchorage. Just jumped in to cool off. It's very hot today. There is actually, of course, now a slightly stronger easterly. Now that we're got here, which was not predicted. It was meant to be like 1 knot from the north all day. Anyway, but yeah, it's good for us because now we have a breeze. Basically today we're probably just going to catch up a tiny bit on computer work, but mostly just rest. And then we'll head further north tomorrow to Puerto Escondido and then start the next phase of our trips. Jim's lifted anchor. We're heading around the corner to Candeleros. Just Candeleros. We're in Candeleros, Chico now. It's only 3 miles, so it'll be a really quick trip. Another motor day. It's so calm. But we get some self-service there, which means we'll be able to upload our live update for patrons. You can get live updates too by becoming a patron, and you also support the work we do with animals, like what we've done the last couple of weeks. We also just have to reply to emails, messages. You know, we've only really been getting internet for like 15 minutes or 20 minutes once every 3 days this whole trip. So a bit of an accumulation of internet things to catch up on. And we just kind of are avoiding going into Puerto Escondido. It's pretty there, but it's just so nice on it. I mean, look at this. It's so pretty out on anchor right now. We're just going to prolong it one extra day, be able to catch up on some work, and then we can get into Puerto Escondido and do the provisioning and things like that. So yeah, we're quite excited by this decision. All right. I just had to run up and like help Jim get the anchor up. The windlass is like sliding and slipping. Guess it's towards the, yeah. I guess at least we only have to anchor once more before we're in the mooring, and maybe we can take a better look at it. I'm wondering if it's like slipped the bolt a bit and we need to tighten it.
It's just very old piece of equipment,
too.
you know?
That has not been serviced for 3 years. They're meant to kind of just work forever though. Anyway, we're up now, so all good. Well, we can't put it off any longer. We're heading to Puerto Escondido. We need food, water and diesel. It's been really nice though, kind of being on anchor for a long time and just being out in the smaller communities and the kind of uninhabited spots and that. But yeah, heading to Puerto Escondido, do a few days of provisioning and then head out again. Well, pick up a vet student and then head out again.
We're out of water.
Yeah.
We're out of food.
Yeah. We still have some diesel.
We got a ton of diesel.
Yeah, we do actually. But we probably still need a refill just to have enough for the rest of the trips. It's pretty calm again today. There's a very slight northeaster. We're going to see if it's enough once we're just out of this bay, but yeah, pretty calm. We have made it to Puerto Escondido on the mooring ball. It's been a very busy 2 weeks. So we left La Paz 14 days ago. Since then, we visited 6 communities. We caught up with Nika from White Spot Pirates, which was really awesome. Haven't seen her for ages. Visited all those communities, did vaccinations, spay and neuter, treatments for about 100 animals, almost 100. So it's been busy, but really, really good. We're really happy with everything we've done, and the communities are very, very grateful. We're going to head into the Marina office soon and just do our check-in process. We'd like to say a very big thank you to Puerto Escondido Marina because they actually have donated us this time on the mooring ball so that we can re-provision and get the vaccines, pick up our veterinary student before we head off again on new veterinary projects. So that's really awesome. All the money saved on things like that go directly towards supporting our veterinary projects. So we're very grateful for them for doing that. Excited to be here. Excited for a hot shower. My hair's very greasy, so it'll be nice to get a really good wash. We're excited to get going again too. I know I sound like a broken record, but these last few weeks have really demonstrated what we can achieve working together. So another huge thank you to our patrons and everyone who supports our projects in one way or another. Next episode, we pick up Chuff's first veterinary student volunteer and provision for our next project. Until then, stay chuffed, everybody.